Welcome into another edition of the Coaches Corner, where we get into the nitty-gritty of Roadrunners athletics. Couple coaches and a player every single Monday, 5:30 from the Tivoli Tap House. We're always here hanging out, so why don't you come hang out with us? We got beer, we got food, everything that you need to wind down from your Monday. I'm Tafoya, and with me on the show this afternoon, my cohort, Celeste Zubia. Celeste, who do we got on the show?
So, Sean, today we're going to have baseball head coach Jerrid Oates, and he's going to talk about their series with UNC that took place over the weekend. And tennis head coach Daniel Hangsteffer will be joining us as their season is coming to a close, and tennis player Adam Rivera will be on the show as well.
Boom. Sounds like our wonderful producer, Eric Lansing, has an excellent show lined up for us this evening, so let's get to it. But before we bring on our first coach, let's get you caught up in the weekend that was MSU Denver sports. The softball team finished out their regular season home schedule with a 4-game sweep of Black Hills State. Coach Annie Van Wetzinga's squad outscored the Yellow Jackets 28-4 and got home runs from Annika Anderson and Carissa Terry in the series. It was senior weekend, and as the Red and Blue celebrated 6 players along with their parents, it was a great weekend for the softball team, and they finished their home schedule with a 22-4 record.
The baseball team played Division I Northern Colorado this past weekend and took 2 of the 3 games. They dropped the first game 8-6 in Greeley, but rebounded to take both games at home, including a 4-0 decision in the finale. Derek Stimson pitched a gem, going the full 7 innings, giving up 0 earned runs on just 2 hits while striking out 6 Golden Bears. Coach Oates' squad will be back in RMAC action this upcoming weekend.
The men's and women's teams look to finish up their regular season this past weekend. The men's took down Colorado Christian and Colorado College by scores of 8-1 and then 8-1. They earned a share of the RMAC regular season championship and earned the #1 seed in the upcoming RMAC tournament. The women's also took care of business this weekend and finished with a perfect 6-0 record in the RMAC, winning the RMAC regular season championship outright. And they'll be the #1 seed in the tournament, and the entire RMAC postseason will be held at home at the Regency Athletic Complex.
The outdoor track and field team took part in many events this past weekend, so we'll just mention a few of the performances. Brandon Krogi took part in the Mount Sac relays and finished 48th in the 1,500-meter run. At the Long Beach Invitational, Rachel Shimubukuro placed 6th in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. And at the Azusa Pacific Brian Clay Invite, Sarah Hughes continued her great senior season with 15th place finish in the triple jump, earning a mark of 11.33 meters. For all the results from this past weekend, visit roadrunnersathletics.com.
So now we bring in our first coach, our first guest this evening, head coach Jerrid Oates from the baseball team. Coach, can't thank you enough for being with us tonight.
I'm excited to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we haven't had you on the show for a while.
All right, so this past weekend, your team took on the UNC Golden Bears, Division I opponent. It was an off week for you guys, so you guys got that series together. Talk about, I guess, the process of getting that series together, and what did you see? What did you hope to see out of your guys from that level of talent?
Getting the weekend put together was kind of crazy. We always try and get a midweek with them along the way, and this last summer we were talking with their associate head coach, R.D. Spees, and we're talking about what Tuesday could we put down for midweek game. We still needed 2 games. They were looking for a couple games, and then as we got talking, I brought up our bye weekend. It was the first time ever, in the RMAC that we've had a bye weekend because we're at an odd number of teams. And then he went on to say, well, we've got one too, because I believe it was North Dakota State dropped baseball. And lo and behold, they were the same weekend, so we're like, well, let's just play each other on that weekend instead of the bye weekend. And originally it was supposed to be 2 games. We lost the game to Sioux Falls earlier in our non-conference segment, and then they, that same weekend, lost a game to, I think, Nebraska-Omaha, so we took it from 2, and we tacked the 3rd game on. That way we could have a full schedule and go from there. So it's a cool setup. I mean, it was fun playing them, and it's good to play them on a weekend where you can run your guys and they can run their guys, and you can see how you stand up.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about fatigue or anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your players, Carol O'Donnell and Jake Ekman, used to play for UNC. So do you think that they approach this series with more motivation, more pumped to play their former team?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them that question. I know they you know, they left there, but they didn't leave on bad terms, and you know, I think for both of them, it's a better fit at our place. So, you know, did they wake up on Friday morning with a little more energy? I don't know. You'd have to ask them that, but I do know they wanted to play him because they do know a lot of those guys on that team. They obviously know that coaching staff and that, so you know, I know they were excited to play him, but I don't know if it was any different than, you know, when we play UCCS this weekend. So.
All right, let's talk about those games this weekend. Game 1 up in Greeley, up at their place. I mean, your team got out to a hot start, and it really seemed like Beecher Shrewby pitched well in that game. Just talk about what you saw from the guys up in Greeley.
Yeah, you know, I really felt like we were in control of that game all the way through to the very end. We swung it well. We were really aggressive with the bats, and I really liked that. We played good defense. Beecher threw a great game. You know, we put all of our starters on a pitch count because what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to, you know, overuse them or something like that, knowing that it was non-conference, but we also wanted them to get their work. We also wanted to rest guys. We wanted to do a bunch of different things, and you know, Beecher got us through 5. We were able to turn the ball over to Jerrid Oates. He did a great job, ate up 2 more innings for us, and you know, ultimately we kind of had the 2 guys we were looking for at the back end, but sometimes you don't get it done, and unfortunately they didn't get it done, and they ran into a ball and ended up walking us off. So
over the weekend, sophomore Javi Vega, you know, pitched incredible. He pitched 7 innings, giving up just 4 hits and 0 runs, and you know, striking out 7 UNC players. So he just continues to, you know, perform great outings for you and your team.
Yeah, Javi's doing a great job. He's done it all year for us. He elevates his play every single weekend. You know, he's the most prepared pitcher I've ever had. Just his day in and day out routine, and when he shows up to the yard on the day he pitches, man, he is locked in, and it's a ton of fun to watch because he changes speeds. He adds and subtracts on his fastball. He throws everything for strikes. If he misses below the knees, and that's where you want to miss. And you know, our guys play great defense behind him, and we're always able to get him enough run support. You know, that game we needed to score 2, you know, for him. So yeah, he's doing a great job for us.
Yeah, fantastic pitching from Vega. Cale O'Donnell came in the 9th, got the last 3 outs for you guys. And then the very next game, you guys had another pitching gem. Derek Simpson this time, a complete game shutout, just giving up 2 hits. Just talk about his performance and how big that is for you to have a 5-year guy go out and pitch like that.
Yeah, it was. Derek threw awesome. He's actually thrown really well the last 3 weekends. He's only given up, I think, 5 hits in the last 3 weekends. What's gotten him in trouble is his walks. They did against Regis, and it did last weekend a little bit in our pod, but he came out and he managed the walk side of the game, and he threw a gem. You know, he was the one guy, because you know, he started in our rotation, had some things he needed to iron out, so we took him out of our rotation. He's gotten that kind of figured out, so now he's back into the rotation, and he was the one guy that we said, well, if we need to push him to, you know, 100 pitches or something, we probably should, because he hadn't been extended like that in a while. And I think he ended up at like 104 pitches or whatever it was. But man, once we hit the 7th inning and he had the shutout, I couldn't take him out. Yeah. I mean, you got to let that guy roll and try and get that shutout. So
of course.
So after playing UNC, what can you take away from the series as a head coach, and do you think your team gained more confidence, you know, moving forward?
Yeah, I think we gained more confidence. I think it was the cleanest baseball we've played on every aspect of the game this year. What I loved about our weekend more than anything else was how hard our guys played. I mean, they got after it. They got hustle doubles, we got plus plays, all of those things. And I think that's, you know, that was one of the things I told them after the series was keep playing that hard for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's look ahead next weekend. You guys continue conference play, this time against UC Colorado Springs. Those Mountain Lions 3rd in the RMAC conference. You guys have a big series. Just talk about that series coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They're 3rd, we're 4th, and we're going down to their place. It's going to be a great weekend. You know, we know a little bit about them because they were in our pod last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I guess. So we have a little bit of an idea of who they are. We've seen 2 of their starters. They've seen 2 of our starters. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun weekend. I mean, this is ultimately why you train, why you do fall ball, why you lift, morning running, all of those different things. This is why you do it, is for these last 3 weekends. And we're playing good teams all the way through. You know, we've got Springs, and then we've got Christian, and they're playing well right now. And and then the big dogs coming in Mesa. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be good. We're going to go on the road. It'll be our last road trip of the season. So that, we got to go out and we got to handle that side of it too, because that's kind of the one place where I think we need to play a little bit better baseball is when we hit the road.
Definitely some exciting stuff. So for your veterans on the team, do you expect them to be, more vocal now that you guys are reaching the end of the regular season, or is there any expectations from the veterans now that you guys are reaching the end?
Yeah, no, our leaders are being great leaders right now. Our captains are doing an amazing job. All of our older guys are leading by example. We're clicking and we're rolling. A lot of it is I'm trying to stay out of their way and let them go do their thing. Sometimes that's the best coaches.
Yeah.
All right, well, Coach, great luck on your road trip and the final little leg here of your season, and thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're just getting started here on the Coach's Corner. Up next, we'll have the man that's leading the regular season championship tennis teams. You guys aren't going to want to miss it.
Dobinson stops on a dime, now to Cortez. The Cortez beating, count the bucket, and foul.
If you can't get enough of MSU Denver sports, then you need to tune in to the Roadrunner Review. Get into the game with exclusive highlights, interviews, player stories, and of course the top plays that will have you jumping out of your seat. You can catch all the action on Comcast CET and at RoadrunnersAthletics.com.
Hey, nice shot! Great spot!
I'm Joe Rice. I'm the Director of Government Relations for Lockheed Martin Space Systems. I transferred into MSU Denver while I was in the Colorado National Guard and after I completed my associate's degree. This was the only university where somebody actually sat down with me and helped me plan out my academic path to finish my degree and graduate on time. Reach for the stars, come to MSU Denver, launch your career.
Brought to you by your #1 volume Nissan dealer, Tynan's Nissan. Come in today and choose from nearly 1,200 new Nissans. Get 0% for 72 months with no payments for 90 days. During the Bottom Line event, lease the new Altima for only $149 per month. Gives you both efficiency and performance. Looking for an SUV? Then choose the all-wheel drive Rogue at just $159 per month. Also available with optional third-row seats. Bottom Line savings at Tynan's Nissan in Aurora and Fort Collins.
I'm Raquel Torres, senior guard for the women's basketball team.
Winners, and there's Torres, three-point shot up and
Oh, there it goes.
Raquel Torres, the trifecta.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
I'm Andre Harris, senior center for the Roadrunners men's basketball team.
Here's Andre Harris with the jam, bobbing and weaving through traffic.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
We want to thank you for coming back here on the Coach's Corner. Now we are joined by the man who led both the tennis squads to regular season championships, Daniel Hangsteffer. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Good to be here.
Great to have you. And so the regular season, as we mentioned, coming to a close for both your squads. The men sharing the title with Colorado Mesa, the women winning outright. How proud of you are you? How proud of you are you of your squads?
Very proud. They've worked hard all year, and over the last couple of years, the guys and the girls that have returned, they've continued to work year in and year out. So it's good to see the fruit of their labor, so to speak. So very proud of them. Like I said, they've worked hard all year, and I think that they deserve it.
So the women's team finished the RMAC season undefeated, and how has this team been able to come together and beat the best of the best in the RMAC?
Good question. I think they have a good culture on the team. They get along really well together. They push each other to continue to work harder each day. Good chemistry on the team. So I think that has a lot to do with it, with the women being successful and going undefeated. I think I don't remember their overall record. I think it's like 12-5 or something like that. So very proud of the work that they've done, and they've just done a good job of sticking together and keeping the chemistry strong.
All right, the women's team. Now the men's team. Talk about Josh Grates, one of your veteran leaders on this team. How has this team kind of come together and earned their co-share of that RMAC championship?
Speaking of Josh Grates, so he's our team captain on the men's side, and he's done a phenomenal job of just pushing the guys to continue to be better. He demands a lot from them every day, and I demand a lot from them as a coach. But when you have a player like that that's on their same level, and pushing them to be better, but still encouraging them every day. So, yeah, I think the guys have put in the work, and they definitely deserve it. And my hope is that they can continue to do that this week and this weekend at the conference tournament.
All right, so you have the veterans, but you also have a lot of freshmen on both sides. The women's side, you have Tabitha Porter. On the men's side, Alejandro Martinez Murillo. How have those new faces kind of come in and gelled and become a major factor for your squad?
They've come in really well, and they've, I think the senior leadership has really kind of brought them in and said, hey, this is how we do things. And the freshmen, they've done a good job buying into that. And I think that's part of the success that we've seen is leaders doing their job and making sure that the newcomers understand what their role is. And then the newcomers coming in and accepting that role, and accepting those challenges and buying into it and really just grabbing a hold of it. So it works both ways. You got to have good leaders, and you got to have good freshmen that buy into that.
So the RMAC tournament is coming up this weekend, and it will be held here at the Regency Athletic Complex. How exciting is that, for you and your team, and how much of an advantage is that as well?
Very exciting. It's great to be able to host it on our home turf. We get the fans that we want, and we don't have to deal with the fans from the other teams, so that's great. The players are familiar with the facility and with the people that are going to come out and watch, but at the end of the day, we still have to execute, and we've got to execute and take care of business out on the court, regardless of whether we're at home or away.
Yeah, it's definitely a great feeling to host. Now, you've coached in the RMAC tournament before. Just talk about the difference between how these student athletes are in playoff mode as opposed to regular season mode.
One of the things that I emphasize, I don't really emphasize difference of that very much. What I emphasize is every day we've got to make sure we do our job. Every day we got to do our job. And whether it's playoff or regular season, it doesn't really matter to me. And they understand that. They've got to take care of their job. So I don't think anything really changes. It's just that maybe the stakes are a little higher, but I think that they know that they've got to take care of business as usual.
So after the break, we're going to have junior Adam Rivera on the show. So kind of talk about him and how much he's progressed here at MSU Denver.
Adam has improved tremendously as a player since he's been here. And he's working his way into the lineup on the singles and the doubles. Good kid, great kid, has a great attitude on the court. Going back to that theme of doing your job every day, I think he does his job every day, and that's important whether you're 1 on the team or whether you're 10 on the team. So I'm really excited that he's been able to speak tonight. I think he's going to continue to grow and continue to get better as a player and continue to work himself into the lineup.
All right, Coach, well, that's all we have for you. Best of luck this weekend as your teams will be looking to bring home a couple of championships on your home court.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we're going to continue this wonderful tennis talk. After the break, we'll have the junior Adam Rivera coming up next on the Coach's Corner.
The celebration is on for Mike Dunlap.
The Skyhawks celebrate a second national title in program history.
And the winner of the 2006 Harlan Hill Trophy as Division II College Football Player of the Year is Danny Woodhead from Chadron State.
ASU! 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 What do we got?
Hi, I'm Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Every day, I see the impact that MSU Denver has on our region. And education within reach can truly transform a life. Congratulations on 50 years of commitment to diversity and inclusion, and may you have many, many more.
Are you a college student that needs a place to live? Are you still living with your parents and want your own space? The Regency Student Housing is perfect for you. The community offers many amenities such as a fitness center, 2 basketball courts, big screen amphitheater, all-you-can-eat dining hall, bowling alley, arcade, free parking, and a shuttle to and from the Auraria campus. For more information, please call 303-477-1950 or visit our website at regencystudenthousing.com.
I'm Lexi Marr, senior defender for the Roadrunners women's soccer team.
These teams looking for offense, and there's Marr, the all-conference defender.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
I'm Anthony Grant, Director of Athletics at MSU Denver.
It's because of your generosity and support that our athletic programs have been able to achieve sustained success and continue to be one of the top athletic departments in the nation.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Final leg here on the Coach's Corner. We have Adam Rivera with us. Before we get to know Adam, we want to encourage you to go and shop for your Roadrunners gears if you want to look as fly as Adam is right now with your Metro t-shirts. Go to shop.msudenver.com. Got t-shirts, polos, jackets, skinnets for your phones, your laptops. Maybe we should get ourselves a couple. Go shopping after the show, huh, Celeste?
If you guys check it out, don't be afraid to maybe buy me a shirt or something. Just send it to me. No big deal.
All right, so now we bring in Adam Rivera Jr. from Littleton, Colorado. Thanks for being with us tonight, Adam.
Yeah, no problem. Love coming out.
Absolutely. So first off, big congratulations on the team winning the RMAC championship. You're co-share of it. How excited are you about this team and what they've been able to accomplish this season?
Well, I'm really excited for it, and I'm really proud of the whole team. I think we've all done a really good job this year, and I'm looking forward to conference. We're all playing pretty well right now, and I think that we have a great shot at making some big waves here in the postseason.
So the women's team went undefeated in the RMAC this year, also winning the RMAC regular season. So from what you've been able to see, what makes this team so good?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with we have a really good culture on the team. And that goes for the men and the women. I think everybody gets along extremely well with each other. We all have a great work ethic, and we all push each other day in and day out. And a lot of the credit for that definitely goes to Coach because he looks for character when he recruits. That's a big thing, and it's really paid off for us this year.
All right, so regular season coming to a close. It's kind of been a theme on this show so far. You guys are going to be hosting the tournament. How big is that for you guys to not have to go travel anywhere?
Well, it's great because well, first, like you said, not traveling, that's just a weight off of our shoulders. We get to sleep in a little bit more, and maybe we can eat a little bit more. That food rests in there, and we'll just be more comfortable. That's our atmosphere. That's where we train all the time, and we'll take it to them when they come here.
So Josh Grates is probably, one of the top players in the RMAC. So tell us what makes him so good and, how he continues to give his opponents fit on the court.
Well, I think Josh, his biggest strength is just mentally. He's extremely strong. He'll have one great point, and, it doesn't faze him. He'll just keep playing out there, just grinds in, grinds out all day. It's really pretty cool to see him do it. Just maintain that level is really impressive.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit here. Your third season here at MSU Denver. You're a local boy from Littleton, Colorado. Just talk about your journey to Metro and what kind of made you want to come here to play tennis.
Well, I had heard about their facility, and I came out to a couple matches when I was a senior in high school. I saw the court's really nice. I met the guys who were on the team at that time. They all were super nice. I talked to Coach. I sent him an email. He gave me a tryout, and the rest is history. I came here. It's one of the best decisions I've made. I really love Coach. I love all the guys here, and I'm just really honored to be here.
So on your page at roadrunnersathletics.com, it says that you are a sports industry major, and is that still the case, and what do you hope to do with that after graduation?
Yeah, I'm a sports management major still, minoring in marketing, and I haven't really pinned down one specific job I'd like to go towards, but I really would like to stay somewhere in tennis. I would love to work at an academy somewhere, maybe be in the marketing directing area there. But I'd also like to coach some too, because I coach during the summers, but if I could get a blend of both in the office and out of the office, that'd be ideal for me.
So we had your coach on earlier in the show. Just talk about playing under Coach Hangsteffer and kind of what you've learned from him to improve yourself as a tennis player and maybe as a student as well.
Well, as a student, Coach is really good. He's really on us about everything. And he's on me all the time, checking on my attendance, checking on my grades. And it can be a pain at times, but, I'm really glad for it in the end. Looking back on it, I'm really happy he does that. And as far as on the court goes, he's an amazing coach. He's the best coach I've ever been under for sure. Anything technically to the mental side of the game, I mean, he has a lot of great pointers, and he'll help you out with any area that you need it.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us, and giving us your 2 cents. And best of luck this weekend with that RMAC championship.
Thank you. Glad to be out here.
Absolutely. So before we call it a day here, let's tell you about everything that's happening this upcoming weekend with Roadrunner Sports. We mentioned that Adam and his entire tennis squad will be competing in the RMAC tournament this Saturday and Sunday. The Roadrunners are the #1 seed in both brackets. The women will play at 8 a.m. against 4th seeded CSU Pueblo, while the men will play Colorado Christian at 11 a.m. So come on out to support the tennis teams as they look to bring home some RMAC championship hardware.
The softball team will head down to 6th Ave to take on the Colorado School of Mines for a 4-game set. The Orediggers are right behind the Roadrunners in the RMAC standings, so this will be an intense series, and all the action will take place this Saturday and Sunday, with the game starting at noon and at 11 a.m. respectively. The baseball team will also be on the road this weekend. They'll take on UC Colorado Springs in conference play and will look to creep up those RMAC standings in this 4-game series.
The outdoor track and field team will compete in 2 meets this weekend. Part of the team will head to Fort Collins to take part in the CSU Jack Christensen Invite, while the rest will head to Golden for the Colorado School of Mines Nature's Bakery Invitational. Remember to follow all of our student athletes at roadrunnersathletics.com. So that's going to do it for another wonderful show. Wonderful show. Would you call it a wonderful show?
I would call it a wonderful show.
All right. So we wish all.
Any day that I'm a host on the show, Sean, is a wonderful show.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's not get too far ahead here. So we want to wish all the best to our student athletes who will be competing in all those wonderful events this weekend. We want to thank all of our guests, Coach Oates, Hangsteffer, and as well as Adam. My apologies to Adam. So thanks for being with us here tonight. I'm Sean Tafoya, Celeste Zubia. For Eric Lansing, we'll see you next time on the Coach's Corner.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge. I pledge.
Here at MSU Denver.
To identify situations in which sexual assault may occur.
It's on us.
To get a friend home safely.
To stop sexual harassment.
To recognize that non-consensual sex is sexual assault.
I pledge.
I pledge.
To create an environment in which sexual assault is unacceptable and survivors are supported.
It's on us.
All of us.
Here at MSU Denver. To never blame the victim.
To intervene in situations where consent has not or cannot be given.
Learn more and take a pledge at itsonus.org.
Metropolitan State University of Denver nurtures student aspiration and empowers lifelong success through personal attention and professional experience in an inclusive environment. Located in the heart of downtown Denver, the university offers broad access to a transformative undergraduate and graduate education on Colorado's most diverse college campus. And as a gateway to opportunity, MSU Denver advances the intellectual, social, cultural, and economic well-being of Denver and beyond.